You're gonna get fired. We're gonna be in so much trouble.
Yes, I want the Maserati. Yes, I won the Academy Award. I wanted it when I was 12, and I still want it to this day.
I want one kid to record himself watching this right now and then point the camera to himself and be like, I want it. And then I want to see our YouTube channel take off.
Hey, I'm Will. I post adventure vlogs on YouTube. And I really want it. Holy shit, this is gonna be fun.
Well, welcome to the Dev Show. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, man. Of course, I'm happy to be here. Finally made it happen. Sorry I'm flaky.
No, that's all right, man. This is part of the business, you know?
For sure.
So I'm not sure really how I discovered your channel, or if you... Did you watch Outer Banks?
I did. And I feel like we talked about that the first time that we tried to have a Zoom call, because I saw you got actors from it on. I don't know if I did anything with that, or how like you could have found me through that. I'm trying to think, but
I don't know. Like, I think I found you ultimately through TikTok, but it could have been the Outer
Probably.
Banks thing, because I did a bunch of live videos with the cast members from Outer Banks, and I think but it might have been TikTok. Either way, I found your TikTok and then your YouTube channel. And on TikTok, you're out here, you're out there, you're in LA most of the time, and you're doing things with your friends, sort of. Oh, you know how I discovered you? It just came to me. I watched a TikTok video of yours that was saying the best footage, or the best of 2020 or something like that, and it showed a compilation of things that you did that year. Do you remember that?
oh yeah. I kind of do. That was probably early quarantine when I really was like getting going on TikTok. I had a couple montages like blow up like that, and that's what really helped my YouTube like get a little bit of attention. So yeah.
Yeah, so before we dive into like the specifics and everything, I have a few questions. What's your goal with the channel in general?
So I mean, basically it comes down to like, I'm kind of an entrepreneurial personality, and I really just want to work for myself, and my passion is filmmaking and fucking around. And can I curse on here?
Yeah, you can curse.
And just like doing stuff with my friends, traveling, going on adventures. So I'm looking at all this and I'm like, well, I want to make films about that. And right now it's like YouTube and TikTok is the most poppin' platforms that, like, those are where those videos would live if I don't want to have to go through a studio and try and work my way up in Hollywood like so many people are trying to. I'd kind of just rather do it for myself. So then if possible, I can just get up every day and just grab my camera and do exactly what I want to do. So that's, I guess, my end goal, to just be able to sustain myself off of social media and my own content alone.
Right. And I think that's kind of like the updated version of even the American dream itself, just going and chasing after what you want, right? And I commend you for doing that. One, because I don't know if you know, but I'm actually in the same boat that you are. I love filmmaking, and I study people like Peter Walbeck, who does different film tutorial videos, basically cinematography. Yeah. And you do a really good job of that. So when did you start to? Yeah, no problem. When did you start to pick up the camera and take these shots, learn these things? When did that all arise for you?
So, let me think. All right. Well, I was in high school and I was playing basketball, and then this is like way back, but I was about 15, 16, and I'd played basketball my whole life. And then all of a sudden I got cut from like my high school team, and I was all upset. But then I started picking up BMX and just literally got so obsessed with it. And naturally, like after a while, you start wanting to record yourself. So I'd make like little like steady, just like setup cam videos of me like on the curb doing little tricks and stuff. And through that, I kind of just started vlogging just with an iPhone or like a camcorder or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I started just with BMX stuff. And then all of a sudden I started recording at home and recording my friends, like just saying random shit or like doing other stunts and whatever. And then through that, I just kind of slowly got more and more into cinematography. And I was like, just literally got obsessed with it. Started watching like Peter McKinnon, all those dudes on YouTube, learned everything I knew from YouTube. And yeah, just started upgrading my camera. And then I got to a point where I could do freelance video work to make money and then put that money back into my channel. So, or like my own content, buy new cameras. So that's basically
Yeah.
how I got started in cinematography. And then I think editing is like a pretty huge part of it too. I learned all that stuff off YouTube, but just kind of developing my own unique style was really cool to me. And just like taking little influences from, because I was obsessed with YouTube also since I was 15, 16. So yeah, that's kind of how I got all that going.
Yeah. And so, for anybody at home who's watching who's not really that big into cinematography, cameras, editing, stuff like that, I do want to dive a little bit into that kind of
Let's do
conversation.
it, bro.
Yeah.
I could talk all day about that shit.
I know, right? So I want to do that too. Basically, the goal was to take my show around Canada and then the States to events and do cinematic vlogs in a way.
Mhm.
But I wanted to format it so it looked like a traveling show. But and then I want to turn it. I want to be able to do the freelance sort of thing, like you mentioned. How has that worked out for you? How did you get into doing freelance? Are they commercials?
Yeah, so I've done a couple like smaller scale commercials because in the end of the day, it's always kind of just been me and my camera and maybe like one person to help me. But so it's not like this whole giant production. But I started, I think a few summers ago, I DM'd this dude who's like a trainer. His name's Approved by Brooks on Instagram. He's really cool, but he had like 80K followers or something. And I like hit him up. I'm like, yo, I can make videos for you. So I started working with him a lot. We made like workout edits and tutorials and stuff like that, and he'd pay me a little bit, and that was dope working. That was like my first client. And then I worked with like an orthodontist, and kind of like random jobs would just keep picking up. Maybe my parents' friend would just be like, oh hey, like is your son doing like videos now, like I kind of need one. So it'd be like smaller scale type stuff like that. And then actually recently I got into, since I'm in college right now, I'm at Penn State, I was doing sorority recruitment videos because like sororities need like videos that they show at Rush or whatever, and they have
Mm-hmm.
pretty sizable budgets. So I was like, oh, that's easy money. Get in there, film with like 25 girls, and then edit a little montage of them doing whatever. And yeah, that's kind of where. And I've kind of thought about upscaling my freelance stuff, but at that at some point I kind of made like enough money that I was like, all right, I'm gonna chill with it for a little bit because I really want to go deep into my own stuff. Because once I started making money on TikTok, like just a little bit, I was like, oh, I gotta maximize this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like the most fun money you can make possibly.
Yeah, so out of all the platforms that you use, like you said, there's TikTok, there's YouTube. The algorithms of YouTube have changed so drastically since,
Oh yeah,
the OG, Roman Atwood, BF First GF, Prank First Prank, all those guys. The algorithm
dude,
has
it's
changed so much.
crazy.
Who
Yeah.
do you draw inspiration from? Who did you watch as a kid?
So when I first started, because I really never even, I mean, I watched like old YouTube, like I mean like OG videos, like how to be gangster and stuff like that, you know, like classics. But uh, and then I don't know. Recently, when I really got into it, when I started filming, I was watching a lot of camera stuff. So like Peter McKinnon's like my favorite, Daniel Schiffer, and then obsessed with Casey Neistat. And this is because those guys were like more informational to me. Where I really draw like inspiration for my videos, that I'm really trying to create like them, or I was at least, and now I'm kind of developing into my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, like David Dobrik, um, even like, oh, Danny Duncan is like my favorite. Like his
Right.
videos, I've been watching him for years. He's hilarious and his stuff is so amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much. I probably got 10 more, but those are like the big ones for me. Like those three dudes probably really shaped like because well, it was like Casey just the way like he did 800 days in a row of vlogging, which is the hardest that I can't even imagine that. His daily schedule must have been absolutely insane, and I just liked his like simple style of doing day-to-day stuff. And when you watch my old vlogs, you can be like, okay, yeah, he was a kid trying to copy Casey. And then when David came into the picture, David Dobrik, he basically reinvented vlogging, or at least popularized that style where it's quick, it's extreme, it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of how I edit now, and that's shaped a lot of it. And then Danny, just because I love stunts and beautiful cinematography, and he's fucking hilarious too. So
Yeah. And so you also ride longboards and I don't know if you skate, but you said you did BMXing as well, and I like longboarding too, and I think that mixing the cinematography with stuff like that is just beautiful in a way.
it's amazing. Yeah, it's dope, dude. Yeah, no, I was never really a big skater. I mean, I'll longboard, I'll do random stunts, but yeah, the way you can make stunts look when you really like learn cinematography, and it's kind of tricky because like my friends don't really know how to use the camera, so I'm always like, okay, camera settings, shoot it from here, I'm gonna go right up there and then keep me in the frame as much as you can, but then when they're doing shit, I'll be filming it in like my own way. But yeah, that's really what I'm into. And just like, because if for people who don't know about my videos or anything, it's kind of like they're quick cut 5 minute ish vlogs. We do a lot of stunts, traveling, all stuff like that, and I try and incorporate good cinematography as well as like funny like vlog type clips. So
Yeah, and that's the whole new generation of vlogging is quick and ready to go. I remember watching Jesse. I forget what his last name is, but he was BF versus GF, and they did like the whole daily vlogging thing, like you said too, and it literally split them apart. But
yeah, dude.
a YouTuber that I kind of get vibes from your videos is Yes Theory. Do you know who they are?
I fucking love Yes Theater, bro. Thank you for saying that. But yeah, no, that if I had to say a fourth inspiration for me, it would definitely be them. Just the way they conceptualize ideas,
Yeah,
and their ideas are crazy. They're
yeah.
so yeah. Thank you for the compliment. But yeah,
Oh no, that like I kind of like I draw a lot of inspiration off of Yes Theory. Also, I talked
totally.
with Matt when they were at like 100,000 subscribers. I was messaging him on Facebook. I'm like, "Oh, I love what you're doing. I like what you're doing." And they replied to me, and then swear like 2 weeks later they're at 1 million, and I'm like, "Wow." It's
Yeah, dude.
but
And now they're like a big YouTube channel, like what, it's like 6 mil or something like that.
something crazy. But they've
Yeah.
also split now too to go do their own things
Hmm.
and so part of what reminded me of Yes Theory from you was the traveling and the basically seeking adventures in a way, and it's just like a really cool thing to watch and do. They started off with their vertical videos. I remember watching them with that. They'd go to abandoned places and whatnot. What sorts
Hmm.
of things are you ready or do you want to do that you haven't done?
I think my Wi-Fi may. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, so just like so plans for the future and stuff like that. Just what I see
Some things that you want
myself.
to do.
Yeah, and just some ideas. Well, I mean, definitely once this is all over, I want to go traveling a little bit and
Yeah.
just go to different places. And one thing I admire a ton about Yes Theory that I really want to incorporate into my own videos, and even Danny Duncan does this in his own way. It's more comical, but I like interacting with strangers. Like that's such a cool part of their videos to me.
Yeah.
And I would love to do something like inviting strangers to this and like go on a random adventure and bring people along and convince people, you know. I really like that because it kind of gives this one like genuine kind of flavor to the video because they're random, they're not a YouTuber, like it's just a person, so it's kind of like that connection, and it's kind of unpredictable, like what'll happen. You never know like what kind of character you'll find. And from my experience, I mean, I've filmed with random people a little bit. It's always been a good time, and you meet interesting people all over the place, like wherever you are. In terms of like ideas that I'm trying to do, I don't know. I mean, I want to keep doing like the stunts that I'm doing. I almost want to like level it up. I'm buying I'm buying a cop, like an old cop car this summer. This is like my big plan for the first couple weeks when I get home. And I'm gonna make a whole like series, like cutting the top off, like drifting, jumping it, stuff like that. So I kind of want to like just do anything that seems fun to me, traveling, talking to people, making like conceptual idea YouTube videos. You know what I mean? So it's like, I still want it in the vlog format because I think that's enjoyable to watch, and that's kind of what I like to film too. But I really like videos that have like a distinct kind of purpose, whether it's just a bit or it's the whole thing.
Absolutely. I think that if you ever make your way up here to Niagara Falls, or should plan a falls trip and should get together and do something. But you've got a good group of friends supporting you and everything. And so how, like, I'm trying to think of like how to phrase a question out of that, but having that support with your friends, how's that important to you?
I mean, dude, it couldn't happen without them. Like it's always a funny balance, because I mean, all like that's what I love about my friends that are here at school, like my college friends that I met, and then my OG like friends from back home, is that they're just down to film, and like I really couldn't do without them. When I'm alone, like I have nothing to shoot, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, so it's, I mean, yeah, props to them for being down with whatever random or possibly stupid idea I come up with, or all of us like sending a road trip. They're pretty adventurous, and like we share a lot of interests, so like that's dope. And when I like pitch an idea and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set this up, like let's go do it, most of them are like, okay, yeah, sure, like I'm down, you know. So it works out.
Yeah, the road trips seem real fun. I haven't really gone on a proper road trip yet. I mean, 7-8 hours.
Dude, you got it, bro. Yeah, those are I mean, yeah, that's probably that's pretty proper. But no, those are like my favorite times, because I'm like, have you seen Into the Wild?
I seen it, but I think I fell asleep. But it was only because I was super tired. Otherwise, I would have watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
I heard it's a really good movie.
It's pretty good. I read the book too, and it's more like the story that I just love, like just that adventure, like being in random places in America, and just whatever, you're in your car, and like we did one to the Grand Canyon, I think last year, and we slept in the car and just like brushed our teeth with a water bottle, like just shit like that, where you get outside the city and just film whatever happens. There's so much possibility for good content, and just like freeing. I don't know. I love that.
Yeah. So like in the future, do you want to be on the road more than you are like housebound? Like that's a dumb question. But
no, I think it's a good one, honestly, because I don't know. I guess it would just depend on how I'm feeling. I do see myself like I want to buy a house and have like, because I want to get into, I mean, I want to have like a studio where like I do a podcast maybe, and I have like maybe an assistant editor in the future. Like these are like my aspirations, my vision for like my house and stuff like that. But at the same time, I totally see myself like getting like a Sprinter van and making it look cool and like comfortable inside, and just taking that thing everywhere. Like I would be so down to do that for months at a time and just film. Really like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a pretty impulsive person. So I guess it'll just be like whatever I'm feeling at the moment. But I could definitely see myself doing that. So maybe 50-50, maybe a little bit more one year. I don't know.
100%. And a lot of people have kind of the same dream or aspirations in the sense that they want to go. I just want to go. I just want to buy a plane ticket. I just want to, but they don't.
Yeah.
And so I think that, like, if you look at your situation, you mentioned how, you know, you'll talk to your friends and you'll say, okay, we're doing this, and then it just happens. I think that that's probably the best way to do it, is to just do it, you know?
You really do just have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, some of it, because that's like such a thing about social media, is there's so many like adventurers and like van life TikTok and people that travel. And then there's people that's saying like, oh, you're just posting the highlights of your life. Like none of this is real, like whatever, blue ass water. And both are like valid to me to some degree. But yeah, like, and it's not like I don't know. There's definitely places out there that I'm like, oh, like I just want to go there. Like I just want to go to Greece or whatever. And like I'm not like world traveling at all by any means. But yeah, we really do just try and like do shit. So if we're trying to cliff jump or we're trying to go on a road trip, we're just like tomorrow at 7 we're leaving. You know,
that's how it's got to be.
You just have to, or else like it won't happen.
Go? You said you want to go, but where do you want to go?
Around the world, or just what do I want to go to?
Like where are your dream destinations? You said Greece. Where else?
Dude, Greece, Croatia, like Australia is like my biggest one that I want to go to.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Australia just seems sick. Like first of all, I love their accents, and second off, the nature and the animals, and like Sydney seems dope. I don't know. All of the Australians that I know are hilarious too. So I feel like it should be a funny place to be.
You know, you gotta collab with Factor Cap if you get down there.
Oh yeah, those guys. Oh yeah, I forgot about those dudes. Wait, what's their name? Like
X. What his name's?
Party
X.
Shirt.
Party Shirt. Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, I knew that because.
I think they're in LA though at this point.
Yeah, they probably are. That seems to be what happens.
Yeah.
With the TikTokers, they just migrate.
But see, I'm in Canada, and I told my mom the other day. I said, "Mom, like, because I don't know if we talked a little bit about this, but it snowed in April, and we have these treacherous 8-month. Well, that's an exaggeration. Maybe like 6-month winters. Half of the year is spent indoors." So I told her, like I'm gonna end up going down south eventually, and I think that a lot of people tend to go that way. And it's all, what is it like being in LA? Just on a day-to-day basis, do you see people grinding everywhere you are? Like,
if you look for it, that's out there. I think there's a ton of stereotypes about LA. Some are very true. Some are kind of like, I mean, like, are you going to be seeing celebrities on every corner? Like, definitely not. But if you go hang out at places where celebrities hang out, yeah, you probably will. You know, it's definitely probably my favorite thing about it. Besides like the diversity and what you can do, and there's so many cool neighborhoods and the beach and downtown and Hollywood and wherever. But that it's pretty creative. Like you can definitely sense it, especially if you like seek out that community within it, because there's a million communities in LA. There's like 13 million people. So there's definitely like, that's probably my favorite thing about it. Just that there's so many people that are on a creative grind that like, if you want to find them, you find them. And then I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah. I feel like, because I live in Niagara Falls, and that's 40 minutes, a little bit longer than 40 minutes down the road from Toronto. Have you ever been to Toronto?
I haven't.
Definitely got to check
I want to go there too. I've heard it's cool.
It is neat, yeah.
Yeah.
But when
Sick
I'm in
spot.
Toronto, I get this feeling, even though you all you do is see people pass you on the street, you still feel very upbeat and like the atmosphere is just go go go, and I feel like that's what LA would be like. Yeah, I want to go there just to ride down the long roads, but
Yeah,
I wanted to get into like more of a little technical side.
let's do it.
What camera do you shoot with?
I'm on a 1DX Mark II Canon.
Okay, does that shoot 4K?
Yeah, it does 4K at 60 frames and then 120 frames per second at 1080p. And it's mostly actually meant as like a photo camera. Like if you go to an NFL game or an NBA game, all the people will have that because it shoots 16 frames per second or photos per second. But yeah, it also doubles as an amazing video camera, but it's actually like it's giant. Like I should have brought it in
Right.
here, but it's kind of like when I see other people that make YouTube, they're like, "What are you doing?" That thing actually weighs 6 pounds.
Mm.
I weighed it because I was like, "Why is this thing?" I'm getting stronger in one arm, but yeah, I love that camera. I'll probably always use it. Honestly, it's pretty old, and there's like new Canon models that are coming out that are really good, but that's just like I know it so well. It's like my
Yeah.
fingers just go to the places and like it makes it seamless for me to shoot. It's also just it looks amazing. And then I shoot with a 16 to 35 2.8 Canon L lens. So
Cool.
that's
Cool.
my favorite lens also, wide angle, but it gives you a little bit of zoom if you need it.
Right, right. What's your editing process? What do you use?
I am a proud Final Cut Pro user.
Nice.
Yeah, is that what you use or do you use Adobe?
No. No,
Adobe?
neither.
Or
Neither.
let me think.
I don't want to come out here and expose myself.
All right, you don't have to say.
No,
Wait,
no.
what's the third one? Like Dissolve or?
I don't know. I'm using an outdated Sony Vegas. So that's called
Okay,
Vegas.
yeah.
But
There you go.
it's
Yeah,
all right.
I'm a Sony Vegas.
But I'm hopefully aiming towards going to Final Cut eventually. Or
I could give you a pitch on Final Cut because everyone talks shit about it. Because all these Adobe users are like, "Oh, it's not that professional. It's not. You can't do all the things."
as good as
Oh, so that's
Premiere.
bullshit. Yeah, as much as Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
But I like it because first of all, there's a magnetic timeline, and so like it's so fast to edit. Like I've used Adobe before, and it just feels like clunky and slow, and it lags, and so like when you cut a clip out in Final Cut, it just meets it, and then you put a new one in on the timeline, and that's like the
Yeah.
most important thing to me, pretty much, while I'm editing, because it just keeps it going so fast. It does work that I don't have to. I use the touch bar on my laptop. I never thought I'd use the touch bar, but it's actually like maybe the most important feature of my laptop now.
Right.
But yeah, Final Cut, it renders big files well.
Yeah.
I've never ever had anything where I'm like, oh, I need Adobe or I need some other program to do this. It's always been capable. So, and it's just so fast. Renders.
And Premiere charges you like what, $50 a month?
It's a subscription. So Final Cut's 300 one-time payment, and I actually bought it when I was like 12 because I skipped this part, but I did shoot like when I was a little kid, like 11, 12. I had like my first YouTube channel where I would use like a point and shoot, and after a while, I just bought Final Cut, and I still have it, and it's like still valid. No subscription needed. I'm 21 now, so
Nice. Well,
yeah.
that's a bonus. Made a good choice when you were young there, so now you don't have to regret it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man. Well, that's really cool, and I am following the YouTube. What are you going to
I don't
school
know.
for?
Film,
So
actually.
you are in school for film.
Yeah. So I was business, and then I changed majors last year. Yeah, last spring, and I mean, I'm glad I'm in film because I have like this deep resentment for schoolwork and just everything around it because I've feel like to some degree, like I don't need it. Like I'm not going to use it. And
Yeah.
I learned, I'm not trying to recommend it, like anti-school, but just for me personally, I learned everything that I know. Every useful skill that I have, I've learned in from YouTube or
Yeah.
like other things in life. But
The real world.
yeah, so I just feel like, but I am glad that at least my assignments, if I'm going to be doing school assignments, like at least it's making a script or a short film or whatever. And I've posted some of my work from school onto my YouTube even. So yeah,
Nice.
that's
Are
what I'm
you a big
studying.
fan of are you a big fan of cinema, like stuff that comes out? Like are you
Yeah, like a movie buff
yeah.
to some degree. Yeah, I'm definitely like super into my favorite movies. I'm not like watching every Best Picture nomination type thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of catch them as they come to me, but definitely like I'm big on a lot of different movies for kind of like, I guess, film nerd type reasons. And like when I'm watching a movie, I'll be trying to analyze it. I worked in Louisiana for a month, 2019 summer on a film set. And ever since then, it was a crazy experience, super like enriching. And like, that's kind of my advice to film people. Like, yeah, film school is cool, but if you could PA on a set, it's 10 times more valuable. Actually, maybe 100 times. Like you'll learn so much. You talk to people, you talk to the cinematographer, you talk to the sound guy, you get the breath of the set, like how it moves, how people are going around. And you're like, wow, this is how big production works. But
Yeah.
ever since then, I'm kind of like even more so like just analyzing like, oh, I bet they like added some atmosphere in this shot. Like I'm thinking about the PAs running around, like stuff like that. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super into long answer, but yeah, I'm into
No, that's all
movies
right.
and TV for sure.
Once you go on an actual set, big or small, whenever you're watching anything for a good time into the future, you'll be thinking about things you saw on set, and I have kind of the
Totally.
same experience when I was acting. But so what do you want to do long term, movie wise? Are you writing your own screenplays, or do you want to work on other sets?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. At one point I saw myself kind of maybe being like working as a cinematographer or stuff like that, and I still could do that type of stuff. I feel like like once I got to a level of technicality and like once I kind of mastered my camera and thought really about what I want to do with my content, I kind of like stopped thinking about, oh, maybe I'll get really good and like learn about the red, or like an ARRI Alexa and try
Yeah.
and use that or whatever. That being said, I would like to, yeah, I would totally be down to like write stuff, direct. If somebody came to me with a directing opportunity, I would be like, and it was cool and I was interested, then yeah, totally. I think since I'm again such like I like to be independently creative, like I wouldn't want to PA a bunch and then like work my way up in Hollywood that way. Because it's just so like systematic and you're working for somebody else. It's like, I don't know, it's really not my thing. But um yeah, I would definitely hopefully, so my plan is kind of to make money off YouTube because that's like right now, like YouTube's my biggest passion. Like even if I could make a big film, like I'm into that kind of stuff, but I really just like the raw format of YouTube and how it's edited by me and produced by me and directed and everything. You know what I mean? Like I kind of have a piece in every part of the project.
Yeah.
So I'm really into the idea of making a documentary though, eventually. I think
Cool.
that'd be dope. So I'd probably want to, yeah, direct that, write it, and then have a part in the editing as well. Something like, honestly, like even what Yes Theory's been doing, like they've released 50-minute documentaries. Like, I mean, it is a documentary. Just the fact that it lives on YouTube makes it seem kind of less official, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think that'd be really cool. So that's kind of my aspirations. Maybe if I have an idea for a feature film or something I want to write or something, some experimental thing I'm envisioning, hopefully by that point I can fund it myself and make it like an independent project and hire people around me.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that I get where you're coming from, in the sense that you kind of want to have not necessarily control, but you want to have somewhat control over everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want things,
I mean,
you want it to go how you want it to go, and then when you're working up in a set, it's like
there's so many hands on deck. And I don't have any problem with that. It's not like I'm like a super control freak where like
yeah,
any project I work on, I have to be like, I love being a part of something that I'm learning from somebody who's been around longer, who's really creative, and I respect them. But it feels like it's like when it's my project, like I really want it to be mine, you know? I
yeah,
kind of want it to either be mine or not mine, but I help.
yeah,
And the in between, because like I don't know, it's not like it's not about being like a good team player. It's just like I don't know, it's not quite as rewarding. And yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to. It's more rewarding, and I just feel like I really got my creative taste in there. That being said, I would totally like if me and like a friend or a couple people were like thinking about this idea all together, and then we like carried it out, and it was like a 3-person or whatever, like me and my boy like wrote something and then carried it out. I'd be stoked with it, and I'd be happy to do it. Yeah, totally though.
awesome, man. So where can we find everything that's going on with you?
All right, you ready for it? Instagram, TikTok, both at setwillfree, and then my main platform that I really focus all my stuff into is YouTube, and that's just my name, Will Freeark. So if you like adventure, traveling, cinematography, stunts, basically all kinds of fucking around in my own style, definitely go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, Set Will Free and Will Freeark. That's me.
You guys know what to do. Go check out his channel. I'm going to leave a card right above me right here. I get to putting the cards there about 40% of the time, so if not, it's in the description. But thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and stay up to date with interviews coming your way through the Dev Show. Okay.